What's up, you crazy, lazy fighting entrepreneurs? Welcome to TLDL Friday. This is for all of you lazy people who can't listen to the entire episode. So you know what? I'm going to work even harder for you, and I'm going to summarize the episode for you. This is our first one, and this week we had Josh Turner. Man, he was awesome.
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singal.
So here's what I did, okay? I gave away something I didn't want to do. I gave away my next business. I just threw it out on the table. So if you want to know what I'm up to next, go back and listen to it. I'll summarize it here for you too, because you're too lazy to listen to the entire episode, right? All right, I'm going to stop playing that up. By the way, I have all these awesome notes from that episode. And if you're listening, go to anikpodcast.com. If you're on YouTube, I guess still go to anikpodcast.com. You can download them. We'll take pictures of them and put them up there. So this was an awesome episode because we have this beautiful 26,000 square foot Lurn Center here, and we want to start using it more. We want the community to start using it more. We want to make more money from it, right? And over the last few months, I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried to do this like B2C community where we sell people a monthly membership, kind of like a gym for entrepreneurs. And it didn't really hit the way I wanted it to. What I found is in order to serve that community properly, and in order to do that, I have to charge enough that they don't want to pay that much. It just wasn't working out. We tried it, didn't like it, we stopped it. And so then we ended up having this conversation with a marketing director of a marketing agency locally. So check this out, right? So we are in Rockville, Maryland, and this is suburbia. It's not like, I'm not in New York, I'm not in Atlanta, I'm not in San Diego, I'm not in Austin, I'm not in all the hub spots of internet marketing. And so, but I'm only an hour from DC and an hour from Baltimore. Now those two cities they got a lot of people, they got a lot of businesses, got a lot of marketing agencies. But people who live in those cities, they don't want to travel to the Lurn Center every day for education and for training. So all of a sudden we're talking to this marketing director, and he made a great point. He said, I want my marketing team to get trained. The problem is I have to send my marketing team to like San Francisco, to Texas, to New York. And it's usually events that are 3, 4, 5 days. I have to pay for airfare. I have to pay for food. I have to pay for hotel. They lose work time for a week. It cost me like $5,000 per event. And I'm like, at Lurn, we've got access to all these amazing people. We could bring them in. We could literally bring the speakers and the experts in one place. And he said, I would pay a lot of money if I could send my team member once a month to you guys for one day, mastermind, you bring all those experts in, they learn all that amazing stuff, but now they're getting regular monthly training, and I'd pay a ton of money. So we said, how much? And so we got to a point where we think we can sell seats to companies for like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a year per person. And so we're thinking, wow, we could do an event a month on Facebook, an event a month on Google, an event a month on social media, an event a month on content marketing, all these different verticals. And all of a sudden the dollar signs start to show up, and I'm like, man, I could open this in multiple cities. And all right. So how do we market this? Now, you know me, I'm a B2C guy. Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads. I like going mass. I like going international. I know how to do all that. I don't know B2B marketing. If I'm trying to reach marketing directors, VP of marketing, CEOs, CMOs, all of a sudden it's B2B marketing. So of course my head went straight to LinkedIn, and I thought, not LinkedIn. Now one more social media platform I got to manage. I don't know how to do LinkedIn. I got like 20,000 followers on it. I don't know what to do with them. And I turned to the only person I could trust to do that, to tell me and to build a marketing plan for me, and that was Josh Turner. And boy, did he blow us away. He did an amazing job. So let's go through the notes. So Josh started by first saying, what he loves about LinkedIn is that you can pinpoint and market to the exact person, not like Facebook and all these other platforms that do blanket marketing. So that was great. Now, what he also loves to use LinkedIn for, obviously, is B2B, but for generating appointments. All right, generating appointments. Now, Josh makes a good point. He said LinkedIn is literally blowing up right now. He called it a rebirth. And I can agree with this. I feel like a lot more people are talking about LinkedIn now than ever before. There's a problem that comes along with that. And that is that if I log into my LinkedIn right now, I've got the most useless connection requests and the most useless direct messages. I remember just today I posted on Facebook, Ryan Levesque posted, he's like, man, I had like 200 useless messages. Anyone else see this? And I'm getting bombarded by people too. Josh has a name for them. He calls them leg humpers. And he actually says that if you use that kind of stupid strategy of just cold reaching out and contacting people, you're going to get at best a 1% conversion, which is so useless. Whereas his strategy that we're going to go over in this episode is 20%. Right? So he is out there helping tons of clients build this massive authority on LinkedIn and utilize LinkedIn to get sales appointments booked, but getting a 20% conversion on his outreach and his messaging. All right, so then we went on to round 2, in which basically I went over what I just covered with you. Round 2 was all about my business plan, what it is that Josh is going to highlight for me. Round 3, we went straight into the marketing plan on LinkedIn. So first and foremost, on LinkedIn, he focuses on LinkedIn groups. He gave a very specific case study, a client of his that does IT consulting and development consulting, but they built this really, really core group in their local area because he wants to mostly help and code and do technical consulting for manufacturing companies. So it's like really specific, right? So what it came down to was this. He said, listen, when you build a group and you give it a very professional name. So for me, he said, call it the Maryland, DC, Virginia Marketing Leaders Network. Now, when I reach out on LinkedIn to connect with someone, I am a founder of a network. I'm the founder of the Maryland, DC, Virginia Marketing Leaders Network. And now when I reach out to a CEO or a VP of marketing or CMO, I'm peer-to-peer. Not a vendor trying to sell someone. I'm a peer-to-peer. I'm inviting them into this exclusive group where we have amazing content and it's local and it's connected. So now, again, if you're a consultant and you don't care about local and you're trying to get clients worldwide or whatever, fine. Create a group, a professional sounding group that could be, international, whatever. But for me, I wanted to do this local area. So first was, hey, create a group. Then what he shared with us was that if you can do free events, now we've got this beautiful place. We could take 200 people in this room at any time. It doesn't cost me anything, right? Because I already have the place. So he said, if you can turn and start to do these free events and promote those, you are going to be able to turn people from the group to coming to your free event, and then you can sell them whatever you want, right? You got a group of professionals. Imagine having 200 marketing professionals in this room. Yeah, guys, let's face it. I'm going to close them, right? I'm going to sell them. So his client has 10,000 people in his group, all right? And from 10,000, he said he's regularly able to do 200 people in an event. Just worked out to be the exact math I'm looking for. So cool. We kind of set up that correlation of 10,000 members in a group can basically lead to 200 people physically at a live event. But you got to imagine 200 people in a live event with me on stage selling a $5,000-$6,000 program to professionals who are leaders in companies and marketing departments. I'm going to close like 30% of the room, and I'm going to make multiple six figures from that room. So that is awesome. Totally worth it, right? He also says that in order to help you prospect and build connections, you need a program called Sales Navigator. It's on LinkedIn. It's $100 a month, and that allows you to have access to reach out to people specifically. So the step-by-step that we went over, where is it here? All right, the step-by-step we went over. So I'll go over that next. All right, so that was really round 3. We talked about building a group and how his entire strategy hinges off of building groups. Then we moved into round number 4. Actually, hold on. Before we go there, round 3, there was one more thing. Okay, he talks about the messaging sequence. So how I said I have like all these useless people right now messaging me that like useless messages that I would never respond to. He actually goes over how he reaches out to people by leaning on the group and gets a much higher success rate. So the first connection, you will reach out to someone and say, hi, I'm Anik Singal, founder of the Maryland, DC, Virginia Marketing Leaders Network, and just wanted to invite you into our group. We post regular content, great information. If you'd like to join, just click here and go. Now, all of a sudden, that's a pretty cool, it's local, it's got all the keywords in there that would mean something. The second message could be a follow-up to that, right? The second message, you could introduce yourself a little bit. By the third message, you might actually send them a message right when you've posted something in the group and say, hey, we just posted a really cool case study of a local Maryland company that used Facebook ads to do something killer. You should probably go check it out. Leave a comment. So now you're not doing these, hey, let's have a strategic meeting. You have a great blog post that I read 5 years ago. It's just, who cares about that? Now it's such a specific message. So that's first, second, third message. And by the fourth or fifth message in the sequence, he said, now, by the way, he really pushed the idea of a sequence of messages. All right. Really pushed that idea. So a sequence of messages, fourth or fifth, you can now start to prospect them for an appointment. This is what people are doing on LinkedIn on the first message. This is why they're not having any success with me personally. Fourth or fifth, by the time you've delivered value, been around a little bit, now you reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to connect about, talking to us about what we could do together? And then he made a really big point about this. He said, by sixth message, you got to follow up. Most people don't reply. And this is when most salespeople quit. Microsoft recently did a study, and they said that 50% of people quit after the first message. So 50% of salespeople quit after the first reach out. Whereas they proved that if you can make it to the 9th touch point, meaning follow up 9 times, you have a 90% chance of closing the sale. Pretty killer numbers right there. So he really talked about the message sequencing and making sure you follow up. So when you initiate a connection with someone locally, you got to follow through it. And he does talk about how, you could either hire his company to do it. If you want them to do the full campaign, $2,500 a month, and they'll get you 10 to 15 sales appointments a month. That's a freaking joke. Seriously, if you're a consultant, imagine you're selling a service that's a couple $1,000s a month. They'll get you 10 to 15 high-quality sales appointments. You better close at least 2 or 3 of them. He currently is spending $20,000 a month on LinkedIn ads at a 500% ROI. So I can tell you right now, spending $2,500 a month with his services is a joke. You're going to make so much more back. And by the way, he has a free course, a free report, linkedselling.com/TFE for the fighting entrepreneur. linkedselling.com/TFE. He was gracious enough to also offer you, along with his free report, a free call, a strategy session that you can have with his team, where what he did for me on the episode, he will do for you in person, like one-on-one, like him or his team. That's awesome, right? So we moved into round 4. He also released a really cool, my first time doing this TLDL session, so I'm going to keep going back and forth a little here. GetProspect.com. Really cool tool he talked about, which allows you to basically scan your connections on LinkedIn and pull out the people's email addresses and contact information. Like ninja stuff. LinkedIn used to allow you to do that right from their platform. They don't anymore, so you can use getprospect.com. All right, round 4, we talked about growing your group. Very simple strategy. Make sure you have a lot of contacts already. Don't start a group if you've got like 6 connections. Go out there, build more connections locally, reach out to people, hit connect, talk to them. Once you have a good group of connections, then create a group, and the group allows you to do an auto invitation to all your connections. That'll usually get you your first, 20, 30, 40, 100 members right there. And then from there, he said the name of the game is ongoing prospecting, that individual level connection. Remember that sequencing we talked about, those 9 messages? You got to keep going, meaning you got to keep putting new people through that sequence. And that's how you get more and more people to join your group, because usually your first, second, or third message is about your group. So that gets you more people to join your group. He talked about running ads. This was the really cool thing he talked about when he said running ads. He reveals that you might do better running Facebook ads than even LinkedIn ads. Facebook ads are about, from what I heard from him, less than half the cost. LinkedIn, you're going to spend about $3 to $5 a click, but you will get a better quality click. But anyways, I'll talk about it in a future round where he really shows the funnels that he uses. So that's coming up in a second. Round number 5, we talked about, I said, basically what I told him is, I don't want to do more content. I have enough videos and enough content I write. Funny thing I learned from him in content for groups, round number 5, was the 90-10 or 80-20 rule. He actually teaches that you will hurt yourself if all you ever do in your LinkedIn group or Facebook group is post your own content. I never would have thought about that. So he wants you to use a tool called Feedly.com, Feedly.com, which is a content aggregator. And what he really just wants you to do is find cool content related to your group that has been done by somebody else, case studies, tools, whatever, and just share it in the group. So it's not yours. You actually carry more authority, you'll carry more credibility and more value if you share other people's content. And he said use the 90-10, meaning 10% of the content you post should be yours. Maximum 20% of the content you post should be yours. The rest should be shared, aggregated content. The other really neat thing was when you get a big enough group, other people start to share. So they start to kind of make your group active on your behalf. He did say that when you first start a group, be ready and expect it to be slow. People will not engage and comment and like right away, but they will follow insight pretty quickly. Just keep it going. The number of times you need to post is about 1 to 2 times a day max, 30 to 60 posts a month max. Because again, other people will be posting on your behalf. Focus on quality, not quantity. That's going to be key. And then in round number 6, we moved on to advertising. He went over the following. On LinkedIn, you can expect to spend about $3 to $5 a click. On Facebook, obviously, you spend a lot less. But I don't know, man. On LinkedIn, you do get a lot higher quality of a lead, in my opinion. His favorite funnel goes ad to landing page, which is an opt-in to capture an email address, to then a message, a page that says, hey, click here and join our group. He did say if you do it that way from LinkedIn, you can plan on spending $15 to $20 per new group member. Just know this, he does not really say you should use ads to build your group. He said very clearly, if you're going to use ads, use it to get appointments, phone appointments for yourself. Don't use it to get group members. It's too expensive. He went over 3 different funnels. All right. He went over what he calls the RTA funnel. That is when you go straight from ad to an opt-in page, get the lead, and then after that, you show them a video that encourages them to book a free call with you to talk through, to book an appointment with you. That's his favorite funnel. That's a funnel he currently spends $20,000 a month on LinkedIn ads for, and he has a 500% ROI on that. His second funnel that he says they run is called direct to the appointment. And so that's ad straight to landing page that says, hey, book an appointment with us. He doesn't do as much of it, but he does do some of it, and he doesn't have to build a lot of pages for it because LinkedIn has a lead form that you can use that directly feeds the lead in. We didn't talk too much about that, but he was pretty excited about the third funnel, which is he calls dynamic retargeting, and this is pretty neat. So you can put a LinkedIn pixel on your web page, and when someone lands on it, you can put in a in-mail message on LinkedIn. In-mail messages it's basically like this. So let's say I'm not connected to you. I can buy in-mail credits from LinkedIn and still force feed a message to you. So I'm not connected to you, so technically I'm not allowed to message you. But if I use in-mail, I can force feed a message to you. Well, sponsored in-mail is a big thing on LinkedIn. But what's cool about this is if you visit my website today, I can tell LinkedIn that please send this person an in-mail message. So how cool is that? That's pretty neat. The only thing is LinkedIn doesn't want people to get inundated with these messages. So they don't allow they only allow a user to get up to 1 a month. So these users are out there clicking on so many different websites. So if and in case they've clicked on something else and the in-mail message for that month had already gone out from LinkedIn for someone else, they will not send one for you. So you won't get 100% of your visitors to get those messages. But he did say that they're pretty cheap, about $1 a message, and they get like a 50% open rate. So he did say you should totally use it. Those are the 3 funnels, the RTA, DTA, dynamic. If you want to hear a little bit more about it, then hop on in and listen to the entire episode. Video ads on LinkedIn are doing great. He said LinkedIn is focusing more and more on video lately, and LinkedIn Live is coming out soon. So that was pretty killer. So last but not least, he offered you his free report, and he offered you a free strategy session, linkedselling.com/TFE. This has been the TLDL episode. For those of you lazy entrepreneurs who don't want to listen to the whole thing, I still encourage you to go back and listen to it all. If you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. Leave me a comment below. I respond to all of them myself. I lay in bed every night at 10 o'clock with my phone in my hand, and I reply to them all. You want to talk to me? Link me. Leave me a comment at the YouTube video of this. Click subscribe. Click the little bell icon. Go to anikpodcast.com, anikpodcast.com to grab all my show notes. I'll pick pictures of them and put them up for you. And leave us an awesome review. And remember, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. This is the fighting entrepreneur, Anik Singal. I'll see you on the next episode. And next week, don't be too lazy. Listen to the full episode.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.